Thicc Boi Summer. Rubber when we up in this motherfucker. Thicc Boi Summer. Thicc Boi Summer. Thicc Boi Summer. For the cover after we hit 'em with the sun. Thicc Boi Summer. Thicc Boi Summer. The summer is the end. She want the remix, get it poppin'. Well, I don't be doing this shit often. Used to smile when they see him, now they tired of me. Well, I got something for that exhaustion. Throw some pepper on them, if they salty they can eat it up. I can stuff with cheese like you ordered them at Pizza Hut. Hey, I'ma keep it going, hey, I'ma keep it up. It's my birthday, cake, I take a piece. Dude, my car's so hot, man. I have no air conditioning in there.
Yeah.
There was traffic. All right, dog. Let's do it.
Hey, we're testing. It's good. Okay. Well, that's good.
You hear me good, Tone?
I hear you, man. I hear you. And it's good that you're wearing headphones.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right. You ready?
1 second.
All right. Drink that water, man.
All right, I'm ready.
When you're seeing me, is it filling up the screen or how are you?
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
me?
You're most of the screen. I'm
okay, and then you're okay. That's the opposite. I just want to make sure.
Right on.
Because it's gonna be when this is played back, it'll go back. It should go back and forth between us when we're talking, which is dope. But yeah, all right. So I'm gonna get a little countdown. Right.
Go for it.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brolific podcast. I'm your host, Tony Vincent. It has been a long time coming for my guest, Joey Buttz. Used to be Joe Average, used to be Joseph Polonius, the most Polonius, infamous man of all time. Introduce yourself, man.
What's up, y'all? Joey Buttz in the building. Yeah, baby, this is how we do it. Me and Tony Paola, we go way back. You know what I'm saying? We
hell yeah,
get together. We TCB with a flash, baby. Take care of business.
Yeah, we make it happen. We make the magic happen. So me and you, man, we go back a little ways now, man. It's been it's been some time. So let's
what is it in rap years, you think? Like, you know what I mean? Like regular years, it's been what, probably 10, 12, something like that.
Yeah,
rap
probably.
Years,
I mean, I would say well, we did Rappers Are Republicans in 2007, I think.
Shit, was it 2007?
I think it was 2000 because George Bush was still president, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Tail end. Yep. Tail end of G-Dubs.
Yeah, because JP, I think, lived with Boom.
He lived with him. That's where I recorded it.
Yeah. So that was so that's what, 14 years ago now, bro. Jesus Christ.
I know, dude. It's weird.
Yeah.
Time fucking flies, man.
Yeah. That's wild, man.
That's when I heard of Tony Paola on recording, and I was like, who are all these fellas?
You know, because I don't know if me and you actually met in person at that.
Not
point.
yet. No, we didn't. I think, well, we'll go on to that. But yeah, no, that started with, because, I was doing my thing with like my boys Ganj and like Bean and a couple other dudes with Organic Cultivations. That was my boy Gangs Ganj's label. And we ended up having a show like that we did with JP and a few other people. I think it was like, him and Black James and like Poetic. I think Crazy Old Dre was there. Solo.
Yeah.
Beanpole. Yeah, no, dude. He was there, and then I don't know what happened. Like, just ended up hooking up, and he wanted to do a track with like me and Ganj, JP on that Sucker Free School Zone 2, wasn't it? Part 2?
Well, he had part 1. You sure you didn't know him during part 1?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, not part 1. So part 2, yeah, I think it was. And then he was like, "Yeah, do you want to do this like weed song with me and like you and Ganj?" I was like, "Yeah." But like it went well, and he was just like, "Hey man, I need somebody like to do a hook for this track." And he showed me Rappers Are Republicans, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." It was just cool because JP was always doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I was, you know what I mean? And then he was like, check this album out. And it was you guys like just dogging on that one dude.
Yeah. It's so crazy because like it's weird to think about it in retrospect, like looking back on it, but how many different crews there were, right? And they're almost like these different rap worlds. Like
I was on the other side of the planet, basically, from you guys, kind of.
Yeah, it was like we were kind of on like the Royal Oak, Madison Heights, Hazel Park side. You guys were more on the east side. Yeah. There's a bunch of like just different worlds going on. Before, like, we're gonna go back in time a little bit further because what I'm interested in is like, you know, the misunderstanding I had. I thought you and like Ganj and Bean all grew up together, but you met them later in life.
Yeah, I met them way later. Like, you know, man. So you said 2007. So then that would have made me 24-ish. So yeah. Man. Yeah. So like before that, dude, I was just doing the, you know, open mics wherever I could. I was going to shows whenever I could, like wherever I would hear shit, and just kind of like trying to show my face around. And then, dude, like the weirdest thing, my wife's friends, Cassie and Brian, were friends with Bean.
Okay.
That was Boys with Ganj. And like we were at a party that they were having, and he was like, I rap, you know, I'm like, I rap. And like he was playing one of Ganj's albums, and I was like, this guy's really cool. I like this guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, man, like we should hook up and do something, blah, you know. And I, you know, I figured it was one of those things like, yeah, okay, we'll see, you know, like, not like, but it ended up happening, and we hooked up with Ganj, but Ganj was like always doing shows and shit. And I was like, well, that's cool. And he ended up just asking me like, yeah, man, you want to get like, come hang, you know, get with us on this show. And it just kind of ran from there. And later down the line, you know, after, you know, we had some good shows, man. We had some,
that's what your guys' reputation was. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So what was the time frame between you first meeting up with them, starting to do stuff, to JP, to like meeting JP and us? Like, well, what was...
yeah. So yeah, no, and it was cool because look, I had people that I, you know, like I first started doing music with like this dude. I won't even say his name because he's a turd, but he was just a beat maker. You know what I mean? He was good, and he was pretty good, but he was just kind of a spazoid. You know what I mean? Like he didn't add anything while we were recording. You know, he didn't have any like, you know, like quality I didn't give a fuck about. Like, but he just had like the most minimal shit. So when I started messing with Ganj, and then I started meeting new people, and slowly from there, and like we did shows. Then we did one show with JP, like I said, we did, and they always like, I'm sorry, I'll start like, they had a good following, Ganj and Bean and them. Like, same people would come to the shows, but it was always at least 20, 30 people.
Yeah.
And like, they just had a cool ass circle of friends that were always like real supportive. And we started making new music, and it was like cool because like, you know, they were like, man, that's cool. You know, then you got a guy that can sing and stuff, you know, that's cool that you're doing. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm just looking to just get down wherever, you know, I just want to make some music. And like, then we had a show with JP, and JP was like limping around too. Cause like when I was at work at UPS, my boy Jay, he was like, you know, this guy, I was handing out flyers. He's like, I know this guy. I went to school with him, JP. I was like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, he was always beatboxing and shit in the hallways and stuff and blah, blah. So when I met John there, I was like, what's up? But he was kind of talking to this chick like the whole time. And like,
trying to put the mag down.
Yeah, you know, and I can't hate on him for that. So, but like, I guess Bread, remember Bread, right?
Yeah.
Bread Beats, who was making beats for JP at the time, super fucking talented young kid. And I guess he had heard me, and he was like, he told John, he was like, yo, that Joe guy's really good. And I was like, I didn't know that. John's like, yeah, dude, I wasn't even paying attention. No, I was trying to like, get with this chick, and I was like, oh yeah. Well, then we had a really good show at that Village Idiot place. It was like right on the border of Grosse Pointe in Detroit.
Yeah, I remember.
And like, I got like all my whole group of friends to come, and it just was packed. And JP just happened to be there by himself. He wasn't even like on the show. Weren't you fucking freestyling there?
I could have been, bro. Like my memory.
I think you did.
I could have been.
You beat everybody. I'm pretty sure. Or wait, no. Oh no. That was that hippie dude, Larry. Yeah, this dude, hippie Larry. Yeah, he ended up just destroying Dre at the end.
Oh damn.
So yeah, like
hippie Larry. I need to meet this guy, man.
Hippie Larry was awesome, dude. He didn't even really rap. He just was like up there, just kind of like having fun, and
Wow.
and he ended up, everybody voted for Hippie Larry. So JP was there, and I hadn't yet gone on, and I was like, he's like, hey man, what's up? I was like, oh yeah, what's going on, dude? And he's like, this is a good turnout. Well, we were just hanging out, and I'm like, hey man, I don't, you want to come up, like do a bus of like a beatbox, and I'll do this one rap that I had. And he's like, yeah. So he came up and did that, and it was just a good show. And then JP, for like after that, he's like, dude, I got to get your number. And like we just exchanged numbers, and he called me late, not too long after that, and we ended up doing that song, rapper, or
The Weed Song.
Yeah, the Weed Song. I guess it was called the Weed Song, right?
I think it was called the Weed Song.
Yeah. So we did that one, and then I was just, he was living with Boomerang, and they had a setup there to record. And he was like, ah, man, you know what, dude, I need a hook for this one song too. And that's when he played Rappers Are Republicans, and he was like, this is my boy Tony, and this is kind of our this project, like we're kind of like dogging on these other dudes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was laughing. I was like, this is funny, you know what I mean? Like, and I just liked it. But I was like, yeah, definitely. And it was like the first time too when I'm gonna mention JP a lot, because he's kind of the catalyst for a lot of shit that happened, happened for me. It's just the way it was. But he was like, can you do something like this? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, dude, keep telling me to do stuff. I was like, I want you to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I loved that. I was like, dude, I don't have an ego, man. Just like, feed me, bro. I'll do, you know what I mean? Like, and I'll make it work. And it ended up working out really well. And then you were on there, and I was just like, who's this guy? And he was like, this is Tony, and blah, blah, blah. He told me about you. Then he told me about Ben.
Because at that time, you and Ben didn't know each other.
Nope, not at all. So we'll mention, we'll get to that later on. But like, who else? It was just, it was you, JP, and Ben. Yeah, rapping, and then me on the hook. And then it was just exciting for me, because I was like, finally, I was like, man, I think this is cool, because he kept calling. JP kept calling me, come hang out, come hang out. Like, even if we weren't doing music, we were just like, dude, we played baseball a couple times, we played basketball a couple times. I was just like, and it was just around a bunch of like-minded artistic people, where I was just like, where have you guys been forever? Like, right. I've been looking for you guys forever, because like, as much as my boys like that I grew up with supported me on the shit, they started to feel some type of way, because I was like doing, you know what I mean, like doing stuff. I don't know, like I didn't want to even question it, like that, why my friends would be feeling like that, like, you guys knew I've been wanting to do this, I've been rapping, you know what I mean, like, so from there I just was like, and then like, just JP was just doing stuff all the time, and I was still doing stuff with Ganj and them, but they like, I just kind of, it's not like I left those guys and went to, I just was like, I'm down to do whatever, whenever, like, I'm consider me an addition, you know what I mean, to stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I'm down to just get down. I'll get in where I fit in. And then, that's when me and you met, and we had that one night stand. Yeah. And then it was very intimate. One of the most intimate nights of my life. Yeah. No, but like, go ahead.
What was I gonna say? So one thing that just kind of going back to my, like, how I remember it all starting, like, because I remember OCR, you guys had this like JP presented like it was almost like a mythology behind it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, these guys are like crazy on the scene, packing shows. Like, he was fucking, like, he was ecstatic about it. So do you feel like, because again, I got love for all these people. Anything I say is not meant to disparage anybody. But I just like, I'm very interested, very introspective about a lot of this stuff. So it seemed like there was like definitely a momentum that OCR had. And then whatever happened, life happens, people go separate ways, starts fizzling out. Then, the momentum goes in other places and stuff. Did you feel like, was that, something that just people started growing apart, or was it just like?
Well, I'll tell you, like, I think from there, I guess how it happened was that, being that, JP was in the midst of recording My Asteroid too, and can you hear me? Yeah. Oh yeah. He was in the midst of recording My Asteroid, and he had lived since I've known him, he's lived at least 100 different places.
Oh, at least. This guy's been on the Oakland County World Tour.
Right. So from there, it was like, we did this compilation, And yeah, dude, I gotta say, for the majority of our first, handful, 20 shows or so, we did have a good, like, they were good shows. There was a good like turnout. And then, I think that we just were, it was a little, not to say this is nothing against anybody, because I was part of it too. It was a little redundant. We just had the same stuff going on every show, to where it was almost like, man, in hindsight, maybe we shouldn't have done as many in that span of time or something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because like, that happens. And but it wasn't anything against, or like, it was nothing where I was like, I gotta switch something around. I just was like always down to do stuff. And now JP had moved in with Ben and everybody at the band house in Royal Oak. Yeah. Okay. And like it's sometime around there, we did like a show of my musicians when they had that original like singer guy that was in there before me. And I met Ben. I was like, oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah. I remember you were on that track. I was like, yeah. And I was like, man, I was like, that was a really cool track. And, I hadn't really heard his band up until that point. And I just was like, wow, these guys are really cool. Like it was hip hop through live instruments and instrumentation and stuff. And
JP, they were already starting the thing with before you were in it. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. They had put out an album to Shoemaker. Remember Shoemaker?
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother story. But
yeah,
that's how I met
recorded
Ben.
with him. Yeah, they recorded with him, and they were let's just say they were less than satisfied with it. But they had already been established. Now, when JP was living there with them, he set up in the basement, and he was recording my Asteroid. And he was just like, all right, well, you want to do the hook on this one? You want to do the hook on this one? Like he was, and I was just like, yes, like, let's just do it. Who cares? And we were just having fun, hanging out and just having a good time. And then I was just around those guys a lot. And they were like, I would hang out after, even if John wasn't, if John bounced or something, I would be hanging out with those guys. Yeah. And like, we just got to know each other, and we did a few more shows together and all this stuff. And we were just friends. And I didn't even think about asking them anything like that. I was just like hanging, and I did have in the back of my mind, I was like, this would be a cool thing to get with, because or whatever, but I didn't think nothing too much of it. Yeah. But like, shortly thereafter, I was at barber school. I was going to barber school at the time, dude, just fucking so broke. Like, I was working at UPS, but I had to take a part-time shift to go to school, and just broke as fuck, and just like doing music and just doing my thing. And I remember Ben called me, and he was like, hey man. I was like, hey, what's up? I was at school. He's like, yeah, man, we were talking and stuff. He's like, and Ben, it's not like he always has to like, he's funny like that. I love him for it too, because it's funny. But he was like, yeah, man, you should just join the band, man. Because you got, what I mean? Like, you could sing and stuff. We need a singer. It's not like he was like, we really want you to join. You know what I mean? But I got it. You know what I mean? I was like, let's do it. And I was pumped. And JP was like, dude, JP was super pumped for me too, because I think he had been saying, like mentioning it to those guys, because they had the one guy that was their guitar player or bass player, he split, and their DJ did. Then we got Josh, the DJ, when I kind of joined, and then Eric, the bass player. Who that guy is, man, I could go on and on about these guys. So anyway, yeah, in the midst of those guys doing, I joined the band. They had already established stuff, and I was just kind of I kind of like added some stuff to their, the tracks that they already had established. And then, yeah, it just kind of went from there. Do you want me to continue, or do you want to kind of like pause for a second?
I'm going to interject a little bit, but yeah, no, I love this whole, it's crazy too. Like thinking about like the time period of that house, because I would go over there a lot too. Yeah. And like all these different projects and all this stuff like happening like in my brain. And I don't know if it's the same thing when you look back at it, like you think of these time periods as separate time periods, but a lot of it was happening at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, just mind blowing, just crazy.
Absolutely. Like, and like, from there, it was just like it was like a circle I found the circle of people, and that included my boys, Ganj, and them too. I include them with it. Like, yeah, like an underground circle, like artists, but we were a circle within that. And I was like, these guys this is it. This is what I've been looking for. You know, there's like one of those things where I was like, you know, I thought about this when I was young and how I wanted to get into this, and I just did it. It was the one of the things that I just went out and did because I was so determined, and I didn't even think about it, put too much thought into it, but just being like, I'm going to shows. Like I would go to fucking underground shows when I was like 19, 20. And I remember like getting denied at the door. Like, no, you're not gonna. And this one guy who was like, seemed to be, it was Blue Collar Gentleman, I think, or something. Or no, it wasn't Blue Collar Gentleman. It was just an underground show. It was at the fucking CCC where fucking Proof got shot. My boy's dad was like a Moose Lodge member of that place.
Okay.
And another guy that we knew, Teddy, took it over or whatever. But like, I would get denied at the door for not being 20, if you know where I'm going with that, you know? And I was just like, but just show up. And they were like, finally he was like, all right, come on, man. You know what I mean? You're just going to keep coming. So like, I just was in there and and if the opportunity arose, I would start rapping or something and, you know, whatever. I just was doing it. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I want to get in this scene somehow, some way. And like, it just manifested and it was really cool, man. You know, like, we didn't, you know, not looking forward, like we didn't make it. None of us made, but like, would you ever take anything back?
Oh, no, man. No, not at all. I mean,
how much fun did we have?
Oh, dude? It was an amazing ride, man. It was just like, so like thinking about it, you know, and having all this stuff to tell, all these stories, all this, you know, and again, we were just talking about like 2007, how long ago that was, but it doesn't feel that long ago, right? It doesn't feel like it was, you know, it feels,
it's not that many years when you look back, but all the stuff that happened within that time, it was like, we were all just doing stuff and it was fun. And we didn't think about, it was like, we weren't forcing it. It was organic. You know what I mean? It was just like, we were just having fun with it, you know? And it was, you know, that was it. That took over I mean, who didn't want to be a rock star? You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Of course I did. But like, it just turned into something that I was like, dude, this is something I'm having a blast with, and wherever it goes, whatever, you know. And then from there, I met so many people. Colin, you know, who's fucking brilliant, you know, and just other people. And my cousin Ryan, he was in fucking what's it called? He was a guitar player in
Nodus, right?
No, that's my brother.
Okay.
I can get into that one later, but like Ryan was Funk Night. What are those guys? Will Sessions. My cousin Ryan's a guitar player in Will Sessions, and he started, you know, at first he was just like, oh, you're doing music, okay, like he's older than me, you know, he's like my brother Brian's age. So, and I think he just was like, okay, you know, whatever. But when he started to hear I guess he heard my name around, he's like, yeah, I heard you're doing some stuff. I'm like, yeah. So I started cutting his hair. I met some people through him that recorded, and it was just, I was just starting to meet people, and it was like, it wasn't something that was forced. You know, I mean, it was just something that was just happening, and it was so cool, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that I could speak for you on this. It's like they say everybody's an artist, man. Everybody has something to add for, you know. Everybody's an artist, and it's like not really. You know what I mean? Because there's not a whole lot of stuff that's unique about me, but I think that's one thing that I could say about myself that's unique. You know what I mean? I'm an artist in that sense, like, and that's one thing I guess I had a lot of confidence in, if anything. There wasn't a whole lot after that.
Yeah.
But, you know?
No, I mean, you always did your thing. And that's one thing, like, I'm interested, I'm gonna come to it in a second, but one thing that like I just thought of is like a lot of these different people I've like had hearings of before I met them, like Dan, for like the earliest people I heard about, Dan and Boomerang, before they were even making music. My boy Nick, I hope I'm not incriminating anyone because marijuana is legal now. Oh, but no. They were like, you know, my boy Nick used to sell weed to them back in like when I was in high school, and he just like, he was just friends with them. Yeah. And that's how, and he's like, man, there's this guy with this, like his tongue is cut like a snake. You remember how Boomerang had the fucking tongue?
Yes,
like that?
yes.
Yeah. So and he had all the piercings and everything like that. So that was like, I remember hearing about him then. Well, and then when me and Adam made this first the only Stereo Killers album, this dude Bob, who was he was a big supporter of like local underground music, and he picked up our album, and he goes, man, you got to check this other guy out, and it's Genghis Ganja's album. So this is so it's all these little weird things of like just hearing about people way before I meet them kind of thing.
Right. And like, dude, what did you mention in there? You mentioned, okay, oh, Dan.
Yeah.
And then that was another thing. Like not everybody was, JP just knew all these people, and this was like, here's Joe. You know what I mean? Like, some people that are not so quick to just like, they might be a slow transition into, oh, here's my friend, he's from over here. Yeah. Nah, JP was just like, no, here's Joe. Joe's like, cool, don't worry. And I just fell in, and everybody was just like, we are always friends and shit. And Dan, that was another one. First time I met, I know he wouldn't care if I said this, because Dan is like on a total 180. He's one of the most put together and like, like together people I have ever met, like in my life. And marijuana, I could say from experience seeing that was a benefit in his life that changed him. And through that, I mean, it wasn't just the marijuana. It was just him being able to, he was always, like we were at Old Miami. Yeah. And I had heard about Dan and this and that, but I didn't met him yet. And then I was like in the crowd, somebody else was on stage or whatever. And he's like, hey, you're Joe, right? I'm like, yeah. And I'm looking at Dan, like crooked ass glasses with like bedhead. Like, he's like, yeah, man. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, man. What's going on? You're the drummer guy JP was telling me. He's like, yeah. And then we went into the Old Miami bathroom, and we proceeded to sniff some stuff off of the toilet seat. Yeah.
Old Miami was sniff central, bro.
No,
I remember.
But like that bathroom was gross, and I was just like, but it was just funny now looking back. But like, how far I came with Dan, and Dan as well, being such a fucking like so good at music, recording, engineering, making his own music, like, and he was kind of like not able to, like, I hadn't seen him drum because he was living with his grandma, and then he got locked up a little bit or whatever. And
you said drum?
Recording. Yeah, drum.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought you said drunk.
Yeah, I know. Well, that too, but he was, that was his time. But like he had got locked up a couple times throughout there, and we were just recording at his grandma's house without him there. Yeah, and I'm like, and we were bumping down.
It was there. Like anarchy at that house, bro.
But it was bumping at all hours in the morning, and I'm thinking like, isn't his grandma gonna like fucking? She doesn't. They're like, nah, she don't care, man. Like I was like, okay, like we were
really didn't give a fuck,
having a great time. But then Dan was there and shit, and then Dan moved out into an apartment, and he had him and Jamie had the baby, had Savannah, and he was like a kid, Dan's one of my best friends, dude. I saw both of his babies grow up and shit, like But then when he moved into that house, he was able to set his drums up, and I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't expect to see.
Oh, I see what you're saying, because you didn't get to see him really go hard at it.
He didn't have his drum set up in his grandma's basement. He didn't have room or whatever. Yeah. Then he couldn't do it at the apartment because he would get kicked out because it's too loud, Yeah. And then but when he moved into that house, dude, in Hazel Park there, and because he was always like, yeah, your boy Nick's your drum, he's good, but I'm better. And I was like, yeah, all right. And I would always laugh, like, I didn't think anything of it. But then when he was actually able to do it, I was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he was just, it was not, I don't know why I was so surprised, but it was just like all this talent was around me, Yeah. And Tony, you were at one of the first battles. What was that place at, like 15 and fucking?
Oh yeah, 15 and Ryan. That's actually about where I stay now.
What was that place called again?
Scores or something, with DJ dude. Kenny P. Shout out DJ Kenny P.
There you go,
bro.
Kenny P, man. That's my boy. Yeah, he actually works right around the corner from here. I don't think he does. I think he just quit from around the corner here, but I'd see him from time to time riding through the neighborhood. But he that Scores, like one of the first battles, this one chick was destroying all of us.
Oh yeah, she killed me. I know who you're talking about.
No, she didn't kill you. You won.
Okay. Oh, but it was by like, it was close.
But it was almost like
she fucked me. She got some hits in.
Whatever. Like me, like I was like, what? Okay, yeah, she got me, but that could have went either. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was just like, I guess maybe biased a little, but at the same time, I was like, but I was just like, damn, Tony can fucking freestyle really good. That was that was when I like realized you could do that really good. Yeah. And then I seen you at another one where did you do it? Where you beat everybody? Wasn't there a show? And
there was a few, like it was like a monthly tournament thing. that they would host.
Was it at the same place? No, it was at a different place though. I think it was at Old Miami. And
Old Miami, they did one. They did one at what is it? Fat Cat, somewhere in Warren, South Warren.
Okay, yeah. Well, it came down to you and Joe Coney.
Yeah,
you won, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't you?
Well, the Joe Coney one was actually, it was just, that was part of the show. Me and Joe Coney battled. So it wasn't a tournament. Me and Joe Coney would just basically had a set where we battle each other.
Okay. And that's when I met Joe. And like, yeah, dude, see, it was like so cool because I was just starting to see and meet everybody. Actually, a few times it was funny when I was at that Scores. They'd be like, "What up, Eddie?" People thought I was
Eddie Logics.
Yeah, because like
the glasses and everything like that.
Like my glasses, you know what I mean? Like a few times. And I was like, they're like, dude, you know, they were talking to me and I would be like, you got the wrong guy, man. You know, a few times I wanted to be like, yeah, so, you know, like I wanted to go with it, but I was like, I don't know anybody. So, but yeah, then I saw Doc Waffles.
I got a Doc Waffles story for you, but I'll let you go. No,
sorry, I'm going off on tangents. Is that okay?
No, you're good, man. I mean, this is all very interesting. I mean, you're the guest, man. You're very, very interesting.
What is your
tell me your Doc Waffles first story and impression.
Okay, fine. So we're at Scores.
Yeah.
Ganj had just, no, this was the time Ganj won. And I think he won, but Doc, it could have went either way, but I think Doc had the edge. But he was just, I saw this guy come up, Doc Waffles, in a cardigan sweater and shit. Hair all messed up. And I was like, this guy's, he's just trying to clown everybody or something. You know what I mean? Like he's just joining the contest to just be silly or goofy or some just shit like that.
Do it ironically.
Right. Until he just started and just dismantling everyone. Yeah. And fucking making me like double over laughing.
Oh yeah.
Like there at one point, like Solo was just like in between rounds and shit, like the DJ, you know, they'd be playing music and he'd be on Solo would be on the floor like dancing and shit. And I swear to God, like the next person Doc battled, he was like he's like something so he's like our next round you'll be dancing like a homo, like Solo.
He just singled him out.
Dude, and I was like dude, I spit out my drink, I think, you know. And he was throwing into Ganji. He was like, you should be playing Dungeons and Dragons and shit. But he was making it all make sense. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy, dude? You know? And I found out he was part of like Logic's crew and shit. And I was just like, God damn, you know?
And all that.
Yeah. But it was just amazing because I was like, there's no fucking way I just saw this happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Ganji ended up taking it against, and like the champion was this dude Rat Fink or something. You know who?
I heard of Rat Fink. Yeah.
And so he was walking around going, I just got beat by a long-haired white boy, dude. How the fuck does this happen? I was like, but you're white.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you? You know, anyway.
That dude's a car dealer now, which is cool, but he still has Rat Fink in his name, and it just throws me off all the time. But my
balls at Kenny P's house one time when he was having.
You saw his balls, you said?
No, I said I was busted. Well, that I did. I don't know where you've heard that. You know, poking your nose around the wrong area.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, there was like a backyard party, and I was like, "Oh, Mr. Rat Fink, Finky the Fink foul, Fink." Like I started just rapping. It's not funny, bro. Like he was taking himself way too seriously. I was like,
there's definitely a few of that shit, but Doc Waffles, bro. So me and Adam first heard Doc Waffles from. He had this album called "Welcome to Golf You Drive," or it was just called "Golf You Drive."
Yep.
And Adam picked it up at Flipside or something. He took it back, and we were like, you know, bumping the shit. And I was like, man, this shit's kind of hard, bro. Like he's, you know, the shit that he was doing, like I was like, it was original, but it was like hard at the same time.
Right.
So I have this image of this guy that's like different, right? I didn't see him as like the sweater vest and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And Adam like really like started fucking with him. He like became like a fan of him. And Adam's not gonna be mad at me for saying this. This is all you know, true and all that kind of stuff.
I got something to say about him. I got something to say about him too after. But
But so anyway, like this is all happening, and this is before I'm pretty sure I even meet you or anyone else. So I'm really not meeting some of these outside people. So fast forward you know, me, you, JP, you know, my name's starting to get out there a little bit. Everyone's names, people are starting to meet each other. This is after my name's getting out there more, like the battle and shit, all that. So me and Doc Waffles start talking. I think it's MySpace at the time, and like, you know, compliment each other, all that type of shit. And yeah, like, let's work on a track, blah, blah, blah. So at this point, Adam has this, I don't know if you ever went over there, if you even met Adam at this point, but he lived in an attic in East Point. It was like an upper flat.
Yeah, and, no, not that point. I met him when he was over in Royal Oak area right there.
Oh, okay, I got you. So this is before, this is like 2009-ish. So anyway, I was like, all right, Doc Waffles, like, you know, I'm going to take, you know, Doc Waffles to Adams to record. And at the point, I'm like, man, Adam is my boy. Like, he's going to fucking get a kick out of this because he's been wanting to meet this dude. He's been fanning out to this dude super hard. So this is going to be awesome, man. So Doc Waffles picks me up right from my parents' house. And you know how I just told you how I had this image of Doc Waffles, right? Like this,
you hadn't even seen him.
Right. Someone who was stunting, like fresh clothes, all this type of shit, right?
Right.
So this dude comes to pick me up. Man, I thought I got catfish, dog. Like I was like, because number one, and again, this is no disrespect. I got mad love for Doc Waffles, but just like his who I had, and this is my fault. This isn't his fault. This is just a made up image that was in my head.
Yeah,
bro.
No, I know exactly how I know what you're saying. Yes, yeah. Because I had the same thing about others and people too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, and at the point too, like he's looking older than how I pictured him and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like thinking, do I like get in this dude's car? Because I'm practically a teenager at this point. Like I'm like 19, maybe 20. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know. But I'm like, you know what? This is Doc Waffles. He makes good music. That's all that matters. Fuck it.
Let's
you know
just
what I'm
go
saying?
with
like,
it.
Yeah,
right.
Let's just roll with it. And so he picks me up. We go to Adams. You know, we're driving, kicking it, having conversation. All good, no problems. And, you know, we get to Adams, we start smoking, a little bit. We're, you know, listening to a beat right into it. And, you know, this is why I can't really smoke like that anymore. Cause I get way too in my head, bro. So
that's why I can't either. I can't do it.
So I start getting really paranoid, and I'm looking at Doc Waffles, man. Like, I'm like, bro, this dude, like, I'm starting to get really freaked out about him, dude. Like I'm getting legit scared. And what's funny is I tell the story. I've been in recording studios with real like bad motherfuckers, like with guns on them, like drug dealer, gangster motherfuckers, bro. Like, and I was more scared of Doc Waffles than any other person I've ever made rap music with, bro. Right. So I'm like getting really freaked out in my head. And all of a sudden, like I'm on Adam's bed writing. Doc Waffles is like in a chair somewhere else. And then he sits next to me on the bed, bro. And I'm like, bro, this motherfucker's trying to rape me, dog. Like I was legit started thinking he was trying to.
Serious?
Ah, dude, I swear to God, in my head, like I'm thinking like this dude's really gonna like rape me and shit. Like I'm like,
you were stoned as you were
dude,
fucking
hammered. I was just really high. We didn't even drink.
No, I know. Oh, I mean, yeah, no, that's what I said, hammered. Yeah, you were just fucking. Well, I know Doc smokes like he smokes like, you know, he smokes. Yeah. Good.
Oh yeah. No, big weed. He brought some weed too, and at that time, good weed was not easy to come by.
Not that
some good weed.
Not yet. Right.
Strong as fuck. So I'm like legit, like I'm telling you, bro, I'm panicked at this point, dude. So, you know, but I'm like, all right, like I have to, like this is how crazy I'm
trying to hold it together.
So I have a survivor's mind though. I'm like, I can't let him know that I know he's gonna rape me, right? So I have to pretend.
What the? You're fucking with me. Are you putting me on, dude? Motherfucker, you.
I swear.
Okay. All right.
I swear on everything, bro. No, listen to me. I swear on everything. Like this is the God's honest truth. So I'm like, I have to get through this song. We're gonna make this song. Like I have to pretend like I can't lose my cool around him, because if he knows, then he's gonna go faster. Like he's gonna like
don't let him see you sweat.
Yeah, like I can't, like you can't show a dog fear. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like. So,
oh my God.
So we get through the song, everything like that. And at that point, I'm just like trying to keep my distance, like being quiet.
Oh my God, you were fucked up.
And like Adam, everybody's like, dude, like how I remember it anyway. Me and Adam talked about this. He says he remembers it a little differently, but I remember him being like, why are you acting so weird? Like, I remember Adam getting kind of mad that I was acting weird and shit. And like, why are you acting so weird? And so it got to the point, right, where Doc Waffles is like, all right, like that was dope. Like, let's get out of here kind of thing. And remember, Doc Waffles was my ride. So he's supposed to be my ride back home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, man, it was nice, man. Peace. And he's like, what do you mean peace? Aren't I giving you a ride home? And Adam's like, yeah, isn't he giving you a ride home? I'm like, nope.
No fucking way. You're out of your mind.
I think I'm gonna stay here, man. I'll catch you later. So I just completely missed my ride home.
Oh my god!
Because that's how legit fucked up I was about that. Like,
well,
I was legit.
Gotta tell you, well, you probably smoked like a whole blunt or something.
Oh yeah,
like
no,
that.
I mean, I was fucking good. Like the world, it's when you're that high and the world doesn't make sense.
No. Especially when you get noited out like that. I mean, and if it's anything like I've gotten too high, yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
and I would. That's man, your mind was really.
Yeah, bro, and like I wouldn't any show after that. Like I couldn't like be close to him. Like I would be keeping my distance.
Oh my
like
god.
Like
that's
I would
insane.
like. Yeah, bro. Like
Doc, poor Doc. He was like the least.
Shout out to Doc Waffles though, bro. He makes good music. That just fucked me up, bro. Like I was legit like terrified.
That's
like,
insane. Yeah, Doc's like the nicest. So what were you when you were picturing the rape or sexing from behind? What was it? Well, like was it on that bed?
Well, it was like wherever he could make it happen. And at the time too, like Adam like is really like,
was it just him or was it everything that was going on? That was because Doc is like so. I can't believe that he was just.
No, man, I mean, and that's the thing is what it is because it started with the original image I had in my head, which again is it's not Doc Waffles' fault that I pictured him as like some G-Unit with a big diamond chain on. And like a fucking Tommy Hilfiger, like outfit. Like that's not his fault that I pictured him like that for whatever reason.
Right.
And he shows up, looking like, like someone's dad. Like I was just like,
Doc, man, he's one of a kind though, dude. And I can honestly say that here in like that underground scene that we were a part of, like in our little part of it.
Yeah.
Like he was one of a fucking kind, like you know what I mean, and he still is,
No, he's a true artist.
Yeah, dude, like some of his songs make me like, not only are they the way he rhyming is fucking dope, but like makes me laugh out loud funny.
Oh yeah,
dude. Like the Jurassic Park one. It's like shoot her at the end, dude. Shoot her. Like that beginning part with the raptor.
Yeah,
dude, and the 80, what was it? The 84 Tigers are on meth. Yeah, dude, and he's going through all the players, and it was just like, I remember, like the way, and it was just he's fucking kind of like of a genius in that sense, you know what I mean? I know that word's thrown around a little too easy these days, but he's definitely one of a kind. No one like, dude.
Well, you said unique. You said the word unique. I mean, that dude's really fucking unique. Like
man,
you can't
forget about it.
It's hard to say who is like Doc Waffles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he really is like who he is, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't fabricated. He wasn't a character or a caricature, you know what I'm saying? He was just, the name was funny. Like I remember at Flower Day when we were playing in front of at downtown there in Eastern Market, Head Knot. We were playing out there amongst musicians, and Doc was playing there too. He had said my little nephew was like 5 years old at the time, Nino, and he was like, they're like, Doc Waffles is up next, and he's like, Doc Waffles. He's like, oh, and my nephew was like, I want to see this guy. Like, who's Doc Waffles? You just thought the name was funny, but like, and that's what I thought at first when I first saw him at that battle. I was like, Doc Waffles, this guy's just trying to.
No, it sounds like everybody. A really funny name. Yeah,
like he's just trying to goof on everyone, but he just destroyed everybody. And I was like, that guy is fucking amazing.
Yeah, no, he's fucking. I mean, he's a really good artist. And anything I said, again, this is from my mind. This is not. Dude, I at this point, I have no belief that Doc Waffles was actually trying to sexually assault me. It was all in my head. Like I'm not trying to Me Too Doc Waffles. I promise.
Time's up, Doc. Time's up, Doc. No, but dude. Yeah, but that's funny, man. That's funny. That's hilarious. But yeah, definitely one of the coolest. I mean, and that's another thing when they stayed in that place downtown. big high rise.
Yeah.
All those guys, like I partied with those dudes and we were actually like friends too. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like a lot of you hear like, oh, they're acquaintances and shit. Nah, man, we were all friends, you know. And it's like he's a good guy, man. I really like Doc. That leads me to around the time when I was with the Mice Musicians, started to hang out with Benny Holmes, Adam, and Pick Up, and what was her name? Damn it,
Hannah.
I'm sorry, I forget. Hannah.
Yeah.
And then Adam's girlfriend too. Yeah. Like I was really close with them, dude, and that was at a pretty crazy time of my life, man. I gotta say, to where I was doing so much shit. I was in a Beatles band with my brother too, a Beatles cover.
Yeah, I remember that.
Actually, we were doing a lot of stuff. We were playing all the major festivals. Wow. And I actually made good money, like playing with those guys. You know, it was like people would always be like, how do you rap and you're in the Beatles band? I'm like, I don't know, man. You know, like I was just having fun. And I had to slow it down, dude. I actually, at first it was working with the addition of the substances that I was using, you know, and with the 2 jobs, the 2 bands, all the other projects, it just allowed me to do everything I wanted to do. But then it just got out of control, because that's when I kind of like was hanging with Adam and Pick Up a lot and doing a lot of stuff with them, just going to their house, showing up and being like, what up? I'm here. And like, we would just do music all night. And I felt maybe like they thought I just fell off the face of the earth with them. And it's not anything against them. It was me. You know, I was just like, whew. That was a couple of years of my life I was going 1,000 miles an hour, dude. And I came to a complete crack.
No, I feel you 100%. I mean, that time was really crazy for us, like with me, Adam, and Pick Up, because we had a big falling out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And you know what, dude, I got to tell you, they never, ever, like, they maybe would say one little thing here and there, but like, I didn't hear them say anything bad, like about you. And I don't think I would have, I don't think I would have hurt, like sat there and listened to it either, but either way.
No, but, I mean, it's all, we're all, I mean, that's going on 10 years ago now. So we're all cool about it. We talked about it
10 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, that was 2012, bro. I mean,
I know. It's so insane.
Yeah. So it's
insane.
But yeah, it was, there was a lot of crazy shit, a lot of mix of personalities and stuff that I, even with, Ben from Mice Musicians, me and him had like some little spats, but at the end of the day, like he's done shit for me, like the way I hold him like really high, just some moments that he kind of big broed me, and he's a big bro, like he's
a big bro to me too. We were the same age, dude, and like I had a little split with my wife, which I thought was gonna be hello.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a split with my wife where I thought it was Dunsky, but like I moved in with those guys.
Yeah.
And he big bro me. He's my same age as me, but I felt like he was wise beyond his years, dude. Like in a lot of ways. And he's like my bro, And like it leads me back to what Mice Musicians, how cool that experience was, just living in the house at the time, but also just when I wasn't living there, like the energy that came with it. Like, okay, I was doing a lot of shows with them with their established music. And I finally was like, man, I've had this song in my head for so long. Yeah. That first one off that Bottles and Bones. Yeah. And I was like, hey, when can we were practicing. I was like, when can we talk about some new shit? Yeah. And they're like, now. I was like, okay, well, I don't know if they're like, what the fuck? Why would you say something if you're not ready? I'm like, all right, fine. And I sang the hook for him. And I was like, this is kind of how I picture this music. And they just made it happen, dude. And they were so willing to do it. Wow. Then the next week I come over for practice and Ben had written a verse. And I was like, oh, fuck. It's coming together. I can't believe it's coming together like this. Then I put like the first like singing verse to it. And they were like, that's our first song. I was like, oh, are you serious? Like, that's insane. I'm not taking credit. Like, I wrote the first song. It was just like, we all contributed to it. I couldn't have done it, Yeah, I brought it to the table, but they fucking they fucking laced it, you know. It was amazing.
Was that Living Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that song is I gotta pull that out every now and then when I'm having a bad day, bro.
I appreciate it. Listen, dude, and that's the only song I guess I could say that because I've never been a guy to get into my feelings and write.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, when you're angry and if you're feeling upset, right? I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, but like at that time, that was when I was going to barber school and I was just broke. I was fucking broke. I couldn't even go some places sometimes. I didn't have no gas in my car.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do things the right way, but I was seeing people around me just be weaseling the system or whatever it may be, and they were doing better. And I was just like, why am I doing this way? You know what I mean? Like, and it was just like, well, sometimes living right ain't easy either. You know, like that was basically it. But it was like, it was kind of cool how it came together, you know?
Yeah, no, that was definitely a dope track. I mean, that whole album was really fucking really good.
Yeah, it was fun, you know,
Yeah,
and like the dynamic of guys in the band from, you know, Ben and Nick were the leaders. Nick the drummer, that's my bro, and Ben, they were the leaders. And they were both basically like, you know, Nick told me at first, you know, Nick's very serious, but he's very like, yeah, bro. So like, you know, it's like either lead father or get the fuck out of the way, you know? And I was like, no, done deal, man. I was like, listen, for what it's worth, I'm not a leader type, but I'm not a follower. I get in where I kind of fit in, and I'll just, and it ended up working out really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's a huge thing too when you're in a group, whether it's a group like that, like a band, as eclectic as a band, or even, you know, I hate using the term posse like it's 1992, but you know, even like a group of collected minds, whether it's OCR,
a lot of minds coming together.
Yeah. You gotta have that, like, know how to play your position.
Sure.
And man, I feel like in a band, it's better in a way than being like a bunch of rappers, just because rap is such an ego-driven thing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Enough said. Yep.
Like if you're like, I'm the guitar player, that's my place. I'm the bass player, that's my place. I'm the drummer. You know what I'm saying? Like it just makes those pieces fit better.
Right.
Did you feel like that at the time? Or you like, we're just way more productive? There's not a.
I can honestly say I think it was just the right time. Like we were all old enough, and you know, like I said, man, and I can say this with pretty like strongly. Like I've always been able to just, like with music, I never wanted to force it out. I never wanted to like do it if it didn't feel right. But I was like, when I was with them, I just saw like, okay, I'm not going to step on toes here. You know, there's 2 rap verses already with Tony and Ben. There's enough. I'll just add the hook. If I felt it was necessary, if I felt I could add a verse, you know, it just worked out to where I just kind of played my position and just was like, okay, this is working out well. I don't need to add anything. I don't need to do this. And there was a couple times where I'd bring something to the table and they were like, fuck out of here, dude. Like that's just, you know, and I'd be like, ow. But at the same time, I was like, oh, all right. And they would bust my balls, or we'd bust each other's balls about shit. And it just worked out. I think we were old enough to like not have that ego thing. And that did have a part of it where Mike, you know, he was guitars. He was like, no, not rock. I wouldn't even categorize. That guy was fucking brilliant too. Mike, the guitar player. Eric, the bass player, was a savant, dude.
Yeah.
Dude could play piano. Dude could play bass. And he was like, you know, from the outside looking in, and I love Eric. I wouldn't mean anything bad by this. He looks like a nerdy guy, you know, like, but he was brilliant, and he was fucking really good. Like he was funky when he could get funky as fuck. He could do whatever. Yeah. And like speaking to his mother one time, like at one of our shows, she came, she was like, yeah, no, he's kind of a savant, you know. She more or less said that he might have had some, and I won't even go there, but like he just was like,
no, I know what you're
fucking saying. Got it, you know.
Yeah.
And then Nick, you know, and Ben just kind of, they were the leaders, and I just kind of let them. They would fucking butt heads sometimes, where it was just like, Jesus, guys, come on, you know. But it all worked out, you know. And you know, people might say, oh, well, you didn't make it. You weren't famous. You're not famous. Like, and it's like, yeah, okay, fine. But I feel like we were all successful because we had a blast. We all had a blast. I'm saying all of us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying all of us.
Like, oh, absolutely. And think about, you know, how many people don't even take that step. You know, how many people want to do that and just are too afraid, they're too self-conscious. You know, they won't even do that. You know what I'm saying? So
they don't, and it's like, and that's like, I have an issue, well, not an issue, just when people say, oh, I can't, and it's like, well, why? Maybe you should consider something else then, because like, dude, you know, like that's what comes with it. We went out there and we actually tried, we did it, you know, like I mean, I can't tell you how many shows that we did. You know, and it's a problem when these younger cats come at me like, oh yeah, I got this, that, and the other, and I got my shit out on this. And it's like, okay, well, like, did you actually go out and you didn't, you know what I mean? I could see that they didn't do that shit, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be how we did it. But I feel like we had that experience. We had some fucking times that we'll never forget that. Oh yeah, 100%. You know, was broadening to us as artists, you know. It was a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, absolutely. One thing that I'm curious about, man, like picking your brain about, because obviously you're a rapper and you're a singer, and I know that there's been a can you still hear me?
Well, yep, sorry. I don't know what happened there. I'm here.
I know that there's been a little bit of a battle within you between those two aspects of yourself. So like starting out, were you originally like just rapping and then you started singing, or was it the other way around?
Both. Like
it was always
honestly,
both.
like
it was always tied together.
Yeah. Like dude, singing always was there. I guess I could step it back to, I'm just like, I'm trying to do a biopic of me, and I feel weird, you know. But like when I was young, I'm the youngest of three boys. You know, my brother Jeff was my oldest brother. He was like 10 years older than me. Needless to say, I wasn't supposed to happen probably, but anyway, he was, when he started to play guitar. But before that, he was a hip hop. Like I remember him and my cousin Michael. They had those like cardboard fucking, and they were like break dancing and shit. And like some of my earliest memories when we were like that side of the family were up north. And I swear to God, and my mind didn't think this deeply when I was this young. Like, and I just remember it vividly. Him, my brother Jeff, and my cousin Mike, like were like, I must have been, I was in my high chair, dude. Like, and they were rapping LL Cool J, I'm Bad, and they were like rapping to me like while the music was playing, and I just was like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? I just remember thinking like how cool it was, and hip hop kind of stuck with me in that sense. But then Jeff started playing guitar and he started learning new music, and a lot of it was Beatles, because the Beatles is an introductory. You can learn those songs if you're playing by ear or learning by ear. It's introductory. I'm not saying what they did was easy, but he would have me come in and he'd be like, okay, he was starting to learn how to sing and play at the same time. And he'd be like, you sing this part and I'm gonna sing this part. And like, I was real young. I think I learned harmony and melody. Like that must've been it. I couldn't, you know what I mean? And, but the rap, you know, as I got older and like high school time, I started writing, it was always hook and rap, and rap, you know, like it always was together. I knew that I was stronger with the singing. But I always knew, I was like, you know what? I'll stick with, you know, doing a lot of hooks for people. I just like, I'm having fun working with other people, but like, I'll bring the rap out when I feel like it's, you know, and when I feel like, you know, like I said, I never wanted to force anything out because didn't feel right, you know, like I couldn't do it. But yeah, it was always there, man. And I always appreciated people recognizing that I could sing well. And I never like had oh, well, I can rap too. I never had that feeling, because it was just like, well, whatever works, man. Whatever works for the project, I'm down. You know,
yeah, no, that's dope. I mean, you always had that team player spirit. Then it's because, like, for me, I think about, you know, like I always wondered, you know, like with rap, not to say like there's too much of a deviation in considering them like making music and an art, but in terms of like a rapper personality and a singer personality, right? Like you isolated them, it almost seems like, you know, again, like we talked about, like the rap being super ego driven.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Singers are, it's like, not to say there's no singers who don't have a big ego, but it's kind of like it's more part of a bigger thing.
I totally get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying, because I've seen the difference
Yeah.
when hanging with dudes that can just, and it's like, and almost like there was no formula to what I was doing. You know what I mean? There was nothing, you know, I didn't map it out in a sense to a degree, but like there was always a melody in my head. If I heard a beat, if somebody, I hear rap to this beat or do whatever this beat, I always heard a melody first. You know what I mean? Like first and foremost, how could I add a melody to this, a hook or whatever? Or even like, can I rap and then like add some melody within the verse if I'm rapping? And, you know, I always said to myself, you know, like my lyrically, I could take or leave what I'm doing at that point. But I know that my flow, I'm going to be on point with the rhythm. I'll never be off rhythm. And like, I can add like maybe something to it with melody that would kind of stand out like over like my subpar lyricism. You know what I mean? Like, it just worked out. And then, you know, obviously as you get older, as you get more accustomed to just doing more music, you get better.
Yeah.
But you don't think about it like that. I mean, did you think about like when you were young, oh man, I was just so, I can't believe I did that. Like there's a couple tracks there where I was like that, where I was like, what was I doing? But
yeah, I mean,
that was
it's
being a young guy.
It's hard to like, it's hard to think about it because, you know, I was just thinking about my perspective on things, especially going from all that. And I've like my ego with this shit, it like gave me the balls to put music out there and put myself out there.
Sure.
But it also got me in trouble and caused a lot of headbutting and, you know, issues with people because, you know, and this is just an honest statement. This is just me being real 100% in terms of, you know, and this is all part of my my becoming a better person, just having to be honest about this stuff, not shying away from it. Like I legit, you know, from 16 to like, you know, mid 20s, probably, I legit thought I was like the best rapper. Like I didn't.
Well, dude, listen, you have to.
Yeah.
This is, I always tell people, look, this is an aggressive art form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is kind of a competitive art form as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It started out like that.
Yeah.
And I get that. And I've always had a sense of competition in there when it was necessary for me.
Yeah.
But like I get totally where you're coming from. You have to say, I love it. You ever get asked, are you good?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, how am I supposed to answer that, motherfucker?
Right.
And like, so I always ended up being like, I'm the best you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but take it, you know, they could tell I'm joking, but at the same time, like, what am I supposed to fucking say to that?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
I'm okay. You know, like, no.
Yeah, it's a loaded question.
Right.
But what I will say, and this is you know, this kind of became the hill I died on, and like where I got like this, where I kind of like fell off of the Detroit scene and got really pissed is like, and this is around that time with me and Adam button heads and like me just kind of being like really pissed about everything, is like when I realized that I'm not the only person who thinks they're the best. Everybody thinks they're the best, right?
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that everybody thinks they're better than me. I think I'm better than them. And this is everybody. This is just everybody rapping, you know, at the old Miami, at this place, at that place. And I started seeing like, you know, and I know that there's cliques, right? There's people who, you know, dog on the other cliques and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, man, like,
did you see that? Oh, like I'm trying to think, but yeah, I guess I must have just, a lot of things go over my head, but I see what you're saying. And I think that,
I mean, I felt like there was a lot of, you know, I heard it because I think people like, you know, people didn't know where I was in terms of what clique I belonged to. And I did that on purpose because I didn't want to feel like I was just constrained to one group of people.
I get it.
Like, I like that artsy kind of shit like Mice and Musicians was doing and like Mid-Coast Most, but I also like the fucking, I'm gonna fucking, you know, grab my nuts and like get money and all that. Like I like both of them. I think both of them are beautiful parts of the art form, parts of the culture. And it felt like at that time, at least, there was a big divide. And like, I felt like the scene just was not going anywhere. And I was like, the scene's stagnant because we're not unifying. And I was like, look, and I kept trying to tell everybody, I know you think these people are whack over here. And I know, and those people think you're whack. And like, but everybody's working really hard and the effort is there. Everybody wants to do everything they can to make shit happen. So if we can fucking put our differences behind us, right? I was
No,
trying
I
to be
know.
like Abraham Lincoln of this shit, dude. Like, let's put our fucking differences behind us. Like, if we can fucking just focus on the fucking just task, let's work together.
Right.
And like, I just wasn't getting through to people, and
Dude.
I just saw it getting worse. And
dude, Tony, listen, you're not this Detroit has a stigma, and I was always like, I can tell you honestly that I was never trying to be part of anything more than I was. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, JP was my dude, and he was always the guy that I liked working with, because I just felt like he was my boy, and he always was doing shit, you know. And I never strayed from working with anybody. I always wanted to like work with everybody. If it didn't happen, it wasn't anything personal at all. Like, I never, but I see where you're coming from, because Detroit has a stigma of fucking nobody's fucking like, the unity is not there.
Yeah.
Like, it's vast
Crabs
of
in a
talent,
bucket.
but vast of talent, but nobody fucking like promotes each other. Nobody does this, that, and the other with each other. And I started to see that later on, but I was like, I guess it got to a point where I was like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just doing my thing. I tried not to let that happen. That definitely was in my head. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think I internalized it, and I took it like more personal than really I should have.
Well, there's another thing I can say is that you're a guy that when you want to do something, you want to do it.
Yeah.
And when people are fucking procrastinating or whatever, I tell you kind of go, you're kind of a type A when it comes to like getting stuff done.
Yeah.
And that's why I appreciated you with this last thing.
Yeah.
You know, because you kind of got on me, and if you didn't, I probably wouldn't. It would have been. I still would be like, oh, dude, like pressing buttons like a fucking dummy on my computer. But like, you like to get stuff done, and like, not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
And I can see where that would become frustrating for sure.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, that's why we don't know who we really are. I mean, I'm 38. I think I'm most comfortable with who I am right now. I'm cool with the skin I'm in right now the most I ever have been, but I'm still learning stuff, and I'm willing to. Oh yeah. You know, you change, you know.
Yeah, it's a journey, man. I mean,
you shouldn't say the hill you died on, Tone. Like, it's still out here. If it's still it's still in here.
No, I just mean, at that point in time, like because I was like, man, like I just kind of, for the Detroit scene, I was just like, man, I threw in my towel about it. And then I was just like, all right, what do I got to do to just do my own thing? I got really heavy into the battle rap scene, because I felt like that. And that is true. At least that was true then, is the battle rap scene. The irony of it was that
Bar Wars.
You have, Bar Wars, right? But there's a few
I came to see you the one time
through other leagues and stuff. But the irony is these are rappers that are literally talking shit, like dissing each other in the worst way possible, but they're more in an alliance than the rappers at the old, I'm not speaking on anyone's name, I'm just saying what it felt like, the rappers at the old Miami sharing a stage together that aren't dissing each other, right? There's more of a brotherhood with the battle scene there was, with people sharing a stage, making music and all that kind of stuff. And there was more organization, there was more of a driving vehicle.
That's funny like that, huh? That's funny like that. That's the way that's funny. Like that, that's how you saw it like that. And I mean, it probably was if you saw it like that, you know. And what I noticed that those couple of bar wars that I went to, I think I went with you, and you weren't battling that night. Me and you just went to party.
Probably.
And Ray, my boy that I went to high school with, ended up being the guy that like started the whole thing, which is weird.
You did go to
Ray.
Yeah,
dude, I went to school with Ray. Yeah. But I was like, oh wow, these are like there was nothing personal. And the one dude was going after the one dude's mom really bad. I was like, that would be a fight. You know, but like, but that was I can see what you were saying with that for sure. Yeah. And that's the way it is, man. And you know what? It's like it was kind of a bummer to me, because, you know, as you slowly get older, and then the band, you know, it was no bad blood of my musicians. Everybody grew up, man, or not even grew up. You know, having kids, moved out of the band house. That's really what kind of set it off, you know. And then, you know, one guy was like, man, I can't really do it anymore, and blah, 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 which is understandable. It was just like, oh, man, is this the end of an era? Is this the end of, you know what I mean? Like, but no, it's still inside. It's still right here, dude. It ain't going nowhere. It's just ebbs and flows. That's all.
No, I mean, I still, like I said, I mean, I'm still out here trying to make music, still trying to make it happen. And this last, you know, the Thicc Boi Summer remix, man, really, that was, you were the one who had that idea like a year ago.
Well, and I didn't want to step on your toes. I just really dug the song.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's a cool track.
Yeah.
You know,
no, I mean,
I'm fat right now too. You know,
thick, man.
I'm thick. I'm living thick.
Living the thick life.
It was a cool track. I'm glad that you were down with that. You know, I don't even want to take credit for that. I give you the credit for setting it off. You know, but like, I was down, and I'm down to do more stuff. And I have to just get that ball rolling, because if I don't, the further away it gets, I don't want to see it go away for like indefinitely. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, that creative outlet, man, it's just
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I pretty much am at with it right now. With you know, 10 years ago, I was definitely laser focused on, I need to like be crazy, like famous, you know, celebrity status. Like, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you I was doing it just for the art, bro. I'm not gonna front like that.
Me neither. Yeah, no, for sure.
Because I know a lot of people did that. Let's not kid ourselves. A lot of people.
There was
like, I don't care if anything happens. This is for the art. Like, okay.
I like the guys. I'm underground. I'm just underground. But you wish your song was on the radio,
right?
You
100%. Like, I don't believe. Any of those people. No, those people would have sold out the fastest. They would have been. They got a song on the radio. They got a Sprite commercial the next day.
Because they're thinking too much.
Yeah.
You know, and and it's funny how that works. Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait. You know, I'm gonna set this. It's gonna go viral. But you gotta remember, there's millions of other people doing the same thing. And it just came to a point where I was just having fun, and it just kept happening, and like more projects would happen, and more things would happen. It's just would pop off, and it would pop off here, and it was just like, this is so much. This is fucking fun. This is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
it's a part of my life, and it really like. Yeah, and I gotta think about, my wife was always very, like, she said even lately, like, you need to just like go hang out and do music.
Yeah,
like, because I can tell you need that right now. And like, she's always been super, super supportive with that. And it's like, you know, I didn't have anybody holding me back in that regard. So it is what it is, man. From here on out, I'm going to do stuff. If anything else happens with it, fantastic. But let's just do it, you know? So that's it, man. That's where I'm at right now too, Tony. Yeah. You know, I'm actually met some people online through this one app that I've been fucking with, like, that send me beats, send me new projects, and like, it's actually I've created some cool stuff with people. Fucking dorks, dude. Why did they gotta be that loud on there?
Yeah,
like, why is
they got the Mustang out?
But anyway, man, I'm just gonna keep doing it, and you know, as much as I said you can't I don't want to force it. You have to kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like right now, you know, like it's like you do gotta try to get yourself in that mode. It's not like it's like sex, bro. Like back, you know, when you're younger and shit. You know what I'm saying? You see a girl's finger, you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
The most random boners ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you know, now I just like to, you know, my wife, I mean, I'm like, babe, listen, I love you no matter. Did you see me? I'm like, you know, she feels bad sometimes. I'm like, don't ever feel bad. I love you no matter what, you know, because like, obviously I still want to do stuff. But I find out, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, I'm fucking going hard, and then I just end up resting on her boobs because I'm tired.
No, I feel it, man. I feel it.
But I think we're all like pretty much caught up, and like, as far as anything goes, dude, you're like the last real project, and like he's working on a really fucking badass project right now. Yeah, he's got some stuff going on right now too, and like, life happens, man, you know. Oh yeah. But you know, John's like I said, I'm always like, dude, I can still count on John. He's always going to do stuff. So, you know, but I got to get out of that mentality as well. always rely on him or you, whoever, you know.
Yeah.
I got to do it myself because, like I said, if you don't use it, you lose it, man. You know, it's true.
No, absolutely.
But hey, listen, I appreciate you having me on, dude. It was a good talk.
No, man, it's definitely been a pleasure. I love these conversations, man. And
sure.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, all the music you've done, everything you've created,
Thanks.
all the times we've had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And at least, you know what I mean? And I appreciate you like saying that, because I hope when you're having fun on stage, when you're doing the music you're doing, that people are gravitate to that. They can tell that you're having a ball doing it. And it's like, they get off on just that.
Yeah.
Not to mention that we're dope out here, dude. We're fucking, I think we are. We're all got something to fucking offer out here.
Oh yeah, man. And we go hard. And you said something earlier that I wanted to just follow up, and we can let it be on this is,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, looking back and maybe not having something physical, maybe we don't have a Grammy, maybe we didn't have a record deal, but the times we had, and I know, and I'm sure you have the same way, anytime we got on that stage, we put our everything we had. We left it all on that motherfucker, bro. Everything.
You know, you gave me a stage, I was gonna I was gonna make it my stage, you know.
Yeah.
And like, this was my opportunity. And, you know, feel like you're nervous. I'm like, you get those little butterflies sometimes if it's a big show and you're in front of a bunch of people you don't know and stuff, sure. But it was never a nervousness where I was like, I can't do this, man. It was always like excitement. Yeah. You know, like, that's just, I miss that, dude. I need that. COVID fucking fucked that up for a while, but hopefully it starts getting rolling again, you know?
Yeah, no, I know, like, you know, I'm waiting for some shows to kick off because I just want to go support. Like, you know, I'm ready to I was talking to Valid about this on one of my last podcasts, and you know,
shout out to him, dude. That guy's the hardest working man.
Valid's been really out here fucking putting in work. So I got mad love for him, and I just want to show love, man. I want to, you know, I'm at peace with a lot of my old shit, and I just want to be a supporter, show love, do anything I can to contribute. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Because in the end, dude, like, this is a culture that I mean, hip hop, I was more than obsessed, if there's a word for it. At one, you know, more, I mean, still, but when I was younger, more especially, like, I was just enamored with it. I wanted to do it more than anything. And I owe it to the culture. This culture hip hop culture, like, was just as important to me as, at one point, maybe more important than my own Sicilian culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was just there as just as much in my life, part of my life.
Oh,
you know, like, and I think, you know, the mentality, what can it do for me? Well, it did a lot for me already. I just want to do it and just like contribute to it by either putting music out or supporting an artist or, you know, whatever. You know, I just want to contribute still, and I still will. And we will, man. We're gonna do some stuff too.
Yeah,
we got it.
I need a top 5 from you really quick about not like best or worst, but the top 5 characters from the Detroit hip hop scene, like just interesting characters. Like,
okay. Well, you know what? I won't categorize, like, going from like best to worst. This is just 5 that pop out in my head. First of all, JP.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
You know, JP for sure. Like, not because he's one of my best friends, it's because he's
a character.
Yeah, dude, without a doubt. Doc Waffles, for sure. This goes without saying that you're in there too, but you just don't count because we're talking today. No, I'm just saying. I'm trying to think. Man, that's a good question. Okay. Genghis Khan. Yeah. Genghis Khan, definitely. He had his thing. And this is just the underground scene that people that we know. Like, dude, big fan, and like ended up being boys with them, like best artists out there. Aztec the Barfly, Foul Mouth. Yeah. That's 4. And then those guys are amazing, by the way. If whoever watches this dude isn't, like, get fucking familiar. Man, that's a toughie, huh? Well,
I thought that was 5, but you said
Well,
said
maybe
JP,
I did say 5. JP,
Doc Waffles,
Genghis
Ganj, and then Foul Mouth and Aztec.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so you got
That's
5
it.
right there. Foul Mouth,
after that,
amazing producer, bro. So
yeah,
shout out
dude.
to him too.
I think Foul Mouth is probably the best rapper producer combo. Like him, JP are up there, but like Foul Mouth's definitely just. I mean, he's doing mega shit. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he releases like 20 projects a week,
consistent.
like full albums, bro.
Totally
like,
consistent and like always on point. Like I haven't heard anything where I wouldn't say that out loud anyway, but I haven't heard anything where I would feel like, oh, that one's better than this. No, consistent, on point, always.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's my top 5. I'd say. Yeah. In a nutshell. Because I can't really think of anybody that really sticks out. There's a few others that they just didn't hit with me like that. So, and then of course me and you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The characters.
Right. Forget about it. Right.
Forget about it. Yeah.
But thanks, Tone. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, man. I got much love for you. We'll be in talk soon. And be easy, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Tone. I'll talk to you,
man.
See ya.
Hey, yeah. Big boys and we making big noise. Hey, Thicc Boi Summer. Hey, rubber when we up in this motherfucker. Thicc Boi Summer. Thicc Boi Summer. Thicc Boi Summer. For the cover after we hit 'em with the sun. Thicc Boi Summer. Thicc Boi Summer. The summer is the end.
Hey. She want the remix, get it poppin'. Well, I don't be doing this shit often. Used to smile when they see him, now they tired of me. Well, I got something for that exhaustion. Throw some pepper on them, if they salty, they can eat it up. Pocket stuff with cheese like you ordered them at Pizza Hut. Hey, I'ma keep it going.